Welcome to Booking It. Today's episode will be the Iliad, Part 2, Books 1 through 4. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Booking It. I'm, of course, your eloquent host, Cooper Cobbs. Joining me today are three fine fellows. Over there on my left, Mr. Isaiah Oretsky. How you doing, sir?
Hello.
Straight ahead, Tanner Lewis. with
Howdy,
his
folks.
Fancy tech. And then to my right, Mr. Bryson.
Hey, everybody.
Mr. Bryson Boswick. We never really clarified last week, what happened, but number one, we've established you're from Paris.
Yes.
Number two, Tanner picked you up at the airport.
Uh-huh.
That's all true. Just so people know.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Okay, we're good. We can move on. So today we're talking about the Iliad, folks. We're talking about books 1 through 4. And Tanner, you're the guest host of this episode. So
yes, I am.
take it away.
Well, folks, today we actually read the story.
We actually got to read it.
No way.
We finally heard about actual quote-unquote Greek history.
Well, mythology.
Mythology,
Yeah.
history.
It's
one and the
sense.
same. In the
Fair.
And
I'll give it to you.
Some of this
To Homer, it's one and the same.
Yeah.
But what were you guys' thoughts as we walk into book 1?
Before?
Yeah.
As we walk into
As you walked into book 1, what were you expecting?
I really did not want to like it. I didn't think it was going to be good. I was expecting more of theogony, and it ended up being much better than theogony.
It's better than theology. I think we all
which
agree.
I'm very grateful for.
Even
I don't
Isaiah
wanna suffer
nods
through that
assent.
again.
It's a
Yes.
blessing. Anything's better than theogony. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's okay.
Fair.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that I was looking forward to just seeing. I mean, I wasn't going to. I know it's not going to be my favorite thing of all time, but I just wanted to see. This is a centerpiece of Western literature, so coming to it, seeing what is appealing about it, and appreciating that, and also rejecting the grossness of its anti-Christian worldview.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was just kind of like they already said, hoping it wasn't theogony, something like that. I didn't really know much about it, but I will say it's decent. I still struggle to understand half of what I read.
You have Fagles now, right? Is that what you were reading, or did you read the other edition for books?
I
1
have
through 4?
what?
No, what translation do you have now? What translation do you read books 1 through 4?
This
Whatever
one?
that one he
Yeah,
has.
Fagles.
Okay,
Yeah, that
he has
one.
Fagles.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still struggle to understand it a little bit, but I think it was decent. Not my favorite, but
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Were any of you delighted or surprised?
I don't know if I could call it that.
Yeah, not delighted. Definitely surprised.
Like-
I'll give you that.
Is one delighted when something is slightly better than absolute crap? I don't know. Yeah, no, it's good. It's fine. I think we'll talk about it. I think I can see what's appealing about it,
Yeah.
and that stuff's fun too. So
Mm-hmm.
No, for sure. So the book opens.
Whoa.
And, oh, I know.
Really?
It's pretty amazing. They do that sometimes.
That's crazy,
book
bro.
start.
Yeah. But it opens, and we dive directly into this beautiful fight between Agamemnon and one of his priests of Apollo,
Yeah.
which is quite amazing. And he steals, or he takes away the daughter of his priest,
Not of his of A. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
his
of A.
priest. Yeah.
or of a priest of Apollo,
Yeah.
which is fun.
Something like
Not
that.
necessarily. Is it a priest of Troy or just a priest of Apollo? They're not.
No, they sacked this one.
It was a priest
city somewhere.
It was a priest of Apollo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're not related to Troy at all.
I don't
No,
think so.
Yeah.
They just happened to. They were. It was during the war, and
Yeah.
he just happened to take
Yeah.
the daughter of this priest
Yeah.
because
Just
he thought it was a good idea. It wasn't a good idea, as we'll get to in a moment. But what did you think about this little feud, the beginning of
Between
because we move into this is kind of the
Starts off the action.
it's the wood for the fire that's eventually going to carry us through the entire book of Achilles.
between Achilles and Agamemnon, you're saying?
Yeah, Achilles and Agamemnon. So what are your opening thoughts on Achilles and Agamemnon? What do you think walking into it?
It really at the beginning, it makes me dislike Agamemnon and like Achilles. I didn't want to really like either of them. I guess if I wanted to choose one over the other, it would probably be Agamemnon because he's
really.
Yeah, because he's the king of the Achaeans, and I don't know. I've always disliked Achilles for some reason, just because he's a more prominent character in Greek
Wait, sorry. You said
mythology.
you would like Achilles more or dislike?
No, dislike
Okay.
Achilles more.
Interesting.
But then going through it with their argument, it really made me see Agamemnon more as a real villain, because he's lazy. He pretends to obey the gods by giving what's her name, Chryses?
Yeah, Chryses.
Chryses back. And then instead of being fine with that, he's like, well, now I'm going to go steal your bride, Achilles, like the one prize that you have
like,
from...
screw over my best warrior. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's just a terrible decision on his part, both as a leader and as just a friend. I don't know if he could consider himself a friend, really.
Yeah.
But
right, and in book 2, we read about how like he lost control of his army. Like his whole army is like rushing back to their ships to go home.
Exactly.
And his butt was saved by Odysseus. So
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and I think it's fun. One of the things I enjoyed is like seeing how even this literature is like almost 3,000 years old. It still uses the same kind of tricks that modern entertainment uses. Like there is that one time where, I think Helen is talking to like the king of Troy, and he's like expositing for her stuff, right? So you already know this, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. And it's like, oh yeah, well he's just trying to get his audience to know things. And same thing here, like he's trying to get you to like Achilles because the whole story revolves around him not, basically, ditching the battle, and you have to like him for that and hating Agamemnon. So
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's right of him probably to leave the battle and not be fighting under the command of the man who just like took away his main treasure at that point, which was Briseis, which Chryseis. Yeah, sorry, pronounced her name wrong. But yeah, and then just
okay. Do we think he overreacted? Because I think he kind of overreacted.
Oh yeah,
like
totally overreacted. Like he just goes and has a pity party by himself over in his ships, and he wants everyone to want him back. Yeah, because he specifically, we kind of skipped a part, but he specifically then talks and prays to his mother, Thetis, to then go to Zeus to say, help the Trojans win while I'm gone,
right?
So that they will know
want
me back. So that
they know they did no honor to the best of the Achaeans.
Yeah, they'll know that I am the best, and that it's because I'm not here that they're losing. But yeah, kind of. I don't know if Tanner, if you're gonna bring this up, but Athena, then there's a lot of manipulating going on from the gods' point of view. Like a lot of them just entering into situations where they didn't really need to be there.
Except they had petty interests.
Yes.
So.
This one, I don't know. Athena, when Achilles is thinking about striking down Agamemnon right there while he's arguing with him, Athena is the one that swoops down and is like, "No, don't do this. You can have have revenge in so much better ways." And
that would have been pretty funny though if he just like, bah.
I know what would have happened in the story though if he just killed Agamemnon right there. Like what would have changed?
That would have been a great book. I would have loved that. It just ends right then and there.
Descending into chaos.
It would be a short story, but it would be amazing.
No. Oh yeah.
I mean, whatever.
I mean, do y'all think that he should have that Agamemnon deserved death after that? I mean,
no.
It's a very passion-inflamed society, so they just follow their passions wherever they carry them. But I don't know. Agamemnon doesn't deserve that, does he?
Okay, so what happened was, number one, both Achilles and Agamemnon basically claimed concubines, which is wrong. So there's that. But then...
Yeah, we're acting like that's okay. That is not okay.
But then this priest prays to Apollo, right? And that's also not okay. To get his daughter back, which is understandable. Like if your daughter got claimed by some warrior dude, you want to get her back. Yeah. And anyway, and after that, Apollo starts like pouring arrows on everybody, and so then Agamemnon refuses to give her back. And so it's right off the back, he's being a bad king, right?
Yeah, he's being a terrible leader.
He's obviously a terrible leader. He's getting angry. And when he gets angry, he kind of like closes off and holds on to his thoughts and opinions.
He's not thinking about the rest of his people.
He's not thinking about the rest of people at all. And so I don't know if he deserves to die because of all those things. I don't think he does for sure. But he's definitely just a bad king and is the bad leader. So, for sure. Yeah.
So what should have Achilles' response have been then instead of, because he kind of just after Athena tells him to put away his sword, he's just like, okay, he puts away his sword and he leaves and then go.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't he's already argued with Agamemnon, but he hasn't
Right. What's interesting is there's this...
Told him what to do, maybe?
That's a great question because there's this whole nuance, right? And that was explained in the book that we read, the analysis book, Hero's City of Man. he's trying to balance these two ideas of, he's not trying to balance. A hero ought to balance kleos, the glory that one wins through glory of killing other people or dying. And there's also the philos, the love one is supposed to have for his other soldiers. Yeah. Achilles' fatal flaw is that he values the kleos above philos.
Way too much.
Way too much. And so he should have found a way to balance the two, right? And so what he should have done, what I would have done at least,
wait. Hold on.
Hypothetically.
In this war,
what should have happened, what ought to have happened is he wins his glory by showing Agamemnon in fighting that he's a lot better, right? He's been like, all right, you're going to do this to me? Well, I'm just going to like go be a boss and like show everybody that you're a terrible leader and that I'm a great leader. And then do
and
that.
die in the process. Because that's also
influencing. It's also fate. We'll get that's the other part to this is and that's really interesting. Maybe we should like just read that because it's really good. But he has this idea of he is fated to die.
Yeah,
Destiny continues to fight. Right.
Destiny has told him, or it has been prophesied that he will. You got it.
Yeah. So this is in Book 9, line 497 through 505. Mother tells me, the immortal goddess Thetis with her glistening feet, that two fates bear me on to the day of death. If I hold out here and lay siege to Troy, my journey home is gone, but my glory never dies. If I voyage back to the fatherland I love, my pride, my glory dies. True, but the life that's left me will be long. The stroke of death will not come upon me quickly. So he's got this idea of he can stay and win glory and die and live everlastingly in that way, or he can live a long life but have no glory at all.
So how do you think that influences his decisions throughout the rest of the book?
He's clearly infatuated with glory.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, what do y'all think about in our world today? Like, do you think people are more infatuated with the glory side of things or more with the long life side of things? Because you can live the worldly way is going to be one of those two ways. It's going to be
it's
live
a corruption
as long
of
as
both.
I can. Well, yeah, it's going to be a combination of both. But what do you think the world is more bent towards now?
Yeah.
They live as long as you can. Aren't there a
Yeah.
bunch of people trying to figure out how to live forever? Or
Well, and that's one of the things is like, this is not a political podcast as much as Tanner wants it to be, but
Oh my gosh.
but like sometimes what I think happened with COVID was people just got faced with their mortality for like the first time. Like, holy cow, it's conceivable that in modern day America, I could die, you know, and that scared a lot of people. So I think you're absolutely right. I think that a lot of times they have this corrupted desire to try and live for a very long time and preserve themselves through other means like cryo freezing forever or like saving your brain in hopes that one day, you know, your consciousness can be uploaded.
America.
Yeah. So, well, not quite like that, but yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking of like Arnim Zola, you know, got his brain put into computers. He lived forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Until he got bombed.
But it's definitely it's a
he lived
corrupted
forever.
version of that. Yeah.
Yes.
So going off of like he's had this fate that's telling him, you know, yeah, I'm going to either die in glory or I'm going to live in like utter humiliation. So
humility.
Not
I'm not sure it's
in humility.
He sees the two as the same. I would distinguish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Fair. But like, how do you think that like knowing his fate influences his decision, and is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
Well, he seems always to accept that he's going to want to fight for the Achaeans. So if you accept that, then he's going to fight for his glory. But he still ought to balance that with the philos and his love for his comrades, and not just leave them to the wayside and watch thousands of them die in the meantime.
Because you kind of see it already in, I think it's book 3, book 4, right after Paris and Menelaus fight.
Menelaus, yeah.
Yeah, Menelaus, when they fight, and then Odysseus and Nestor and
Diomedes?
I can't remember his name. The other Ajax and the other generals of Agamemnon's army, they show themselves as good leaders, going and rousing all of the men, encouraging them, giving them strength for the battle, and then being the first ones to charge into the battle. Like, that is what a true hero and leader does for his men, is taking care of the duty side of things with being loyal to his country, loyal to his people, but also being a good leader by encouraging his men, by being the first into battle.
So what I'm hearing is that we've agreed that Achilles is obviously wronged by Agamemnon.
Absolutely.
Yes. Insofar as there's nuance there, they were both doing immoral actions.
Both of them are in the wrong.
You stole my thing, I stole back. Like, what's going on? But I'll just say, he overreacted and basically asked Zeus to arrange the Trojan War, not so much that it would preserve life, or even not even preserve his soldier's life, but that it would bring maximum glory to himself.
He sacrifices our definition of what a hero is in doing that, because he's like sacrificing human lives of people who should be his friends, who are on his side. Eventually, we see that this is not the side of the Achaeans for Achilles. This is the side of Achilles.
Right. It's
This
not.
is-
It's
Mhm.
yeah.
This is
Very
just,
self-centered.
yeah, whatever can get me more glory, whatever can get me more
Fame,
Yeah.
power.
what people will praise me for later on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting. Today in Devo we're talking about in the book of Joshua, people leaving stones as monuments to remember, and that's kind of the all of those though were the times the Lord helped them and supported them in doing whatever they were doing. But here, he's like, remember me for what I have done, myself, Achilles, me, yes,
Me, myself, and I.
exactly, and not monuments or memories for what the Lord has done. So
Yeah. So, well, all of those men who were good leaders in battle, what do you think we as Christians should act? How we should act as leaders, and how Christian military leaders throughout history should have acted rightly as Christian heroes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that huge emphasis is put on the Bible on submission to authority.
Yeah.
And so I think that there is some. I would probably agree with some people that there are some times in which you must submit to authority, even when the authority may be doing something unwise, not necessarily immoral. If that
Yeah.
makes sense. But like, okay, you're following a superior in the army.
Mm-hmm.
The superior tells you to do something that maybe doesn't seem to you as strategic.
Yeah.
Well, you're duty bound to, I would say, submit to your authorities and follow the leader,
Mhm.
as long as he has proved himself trustworthy in the past, right?
Yeah.
And so, I'll have to say that kind of relates to, okay, you are not the subordinate. You are the subordinate. You are not the authority.
Yes.
So submit to him
We
insofar
submit
as he
to
doesn't ask you to do anything.
God first.
God
then we
first.
submit to the
The
authorities in our
authority-
lives
authorities he's
as far as we
established.
can.
Right.
Still obeying God, and yeah.
Mhm.
And then we love our fellow men as well. But continue on, Tanner.
Yeah, it's kind of hijacked.
Yeah.
No, it's great. He's leading us in a very good path.
Yeah, he is.
But
Hey,
I
we're
have-
training up Bryson. Right here.
Yeah.
Congratulations, good job, guys.
Bro jumped in very easily.
He
But
did.
so let's just give a
Hey,
round
let's give a round of
applause.
applause. Let's give a round of
Honestly, like
applause.
jumping in, doing this well, so early.
Well
It's
done.
amazing. But I have two things that I'd like to touch on. First of all, something that I wanted to touch on earlier in the episode but forgot to. This, like the 24 books that we're reading of the Iliad that are divided
Wait,
into
24?
There's 24 books.
There's
Yeah.
24 books.
Jeez.
We're reading over
Um,
6 weeks.
Oh boy.
Oh, but listen to this. If
Oh,
this
boy.
makes you enjoy it more, these books were divided by the scholars in Alexandria, in the Library of Alexandria.
History.
Okay.
History.
Isn't
It's
that
like that meme from National Treasure. Scrolls in the library at Alexandria.
No
Oh
way.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just thought that was cool.
It's cool. Yeah.
You know, random. I don't
Yeah.
know how we know this, but we do
I mean,
know
they
it.
divide up pretty well, I guess.
Anyways, but what do you think, like, the theme, like, we're kind of finishing up our discussion of book 1 right here, like,
We move on
this
to
little
books like
section, and we'll
2
move
and
into
3,
book
4, yeah.
2, 3, 4. But,
Really?
like,
Book one?
Well, books, there's not a lot in book 2 except, like, we talked about
More
Agamemnon
war.
yeah,
lost the people to the ships. They come back. Then they
Fair.
list, like, thousands of people. So,
yeah. But, like,
Fight.
what do you think the theme is of, like, the first 2 books?
yeah, what's, like, the opening word to the whole story that the guy
You
talks
should
a
know.
lot
You
about
should know.
in Heroes City of Man.
You've read it twice, right?
The English word and even the Greek word.
Uh,
What was that
That's
noise?
not it.
He's open. Wait, no, it's not in that one.
Oh,
Read.
I don't remember it.
Hang on, let me pull it up.
I know it's rage. It's rage.
There it is.
Rage.
It's
Okay.
rage.
It's rage.
Rage.
Uh-huh. I didn't look it up in the book. Yeah.
It's menace. That's the Greek word.
Oh.
And so it's the whole idea of rage, of Achilles' rage. It's the idea of Agamemnon's rage and the rage response, fighting over women. That was the thing. Book 1 is a microcosm of the whole story, right?
It's all passion-led. It's all infused with rage, yeah.
Right.
Just whatever my heart feels right now, which most of the time in men of ancient history was rage.
That's right.
For some reason, they had a lot of bitterness.
They
in
really
their
wanted to
hearts.
kill a lot of
Well,
people.
they're in their minds, you took my wife, I'll take your wife, and
Well, it's
then
not
we'll.
wife.
And
It's
your
not be
wife-
so formal about wife here.
Oh,
It's
that's true.
not-
That's true. You took my girl,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take your girl,
And then kill you.
We'll fight, and then we'll fight over it.
someone else's girl.
All right. That's the story of the Iliad and the story of book 1.
And,
Yeah.
and then we'll just kill everybody, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's like there's lots of microcosms everywhere, right? Because like that prophet comes out. I think that's book 2, right?
Yeah.
Where there's like this weird vision of this snake that eats like the mother and her 8 children.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
I don't know.
And
It's
I was
pretty
like,
weird.
what is this going on? And then he was like, oh, it's a good thing. And I'm like, what?
What?
It means we'll take Troy in the 10th year. And they just don't listen to him and try to take the city anyway. So
Yeah.
They're
probably so weird like that because like if they stopped fighting and waited for the 10th year, they would have lost ground. And then I don't know. They're just going to keep fighting knowing they're not going to win until the 10th year. Like what's going on with that prophecy? I don't know.
Who knows? But talking about prophecies and supernatural influences, we're kind of into book 3 and 4 now.
Yes, we are.
We definitely are. But what do you think about the role of the gods in these next 3 books?
Swing Massimile microphone.
Okay, here, come
come
over.
talk,
You're
come
gonna
talk,
want to
come
come
on.
over here,
Yeah.
Mom.
Is this the first appearance Massimile she talked to on the microphone?
No, this is the second.
A second? Okay, great.
Wow, making a big debut.
What do you guys think about the beginning of book 2 and the dream that Agamemnon had given to him by Zeus?
Right.
And what he did, because what he did after that, it looked like he was told by Zeus to go fight and continue fighting. And then Agamemnon wakes up and heads out and tells everybody, let's all go home to test the troops as a sign of his great leadership.
Yeah. Well, because it says like in line 6, evil dream, right? And so clearly this is not supposed to be a good thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's supposed to, I think, just illuminate him as a fool even more. And like I said earlier, Odysseus is to save him. So
Yeah,
that was
I
a weird
wonder
part.
where, because Hera and Athena have such loyalties towards
Right, and that's
the Achaeans.
and that's not even explained, but we know why because of the backstory. It's like, well, yeah, duh, because Paris sided against them on the beauty contest.
So I wonder how they obviously they've chosen the side, but I wonder who their main. Have they specifically chosen Achilles as like their favorite? Because
100%.
Okay, you think so?
100%. Well, I think they recognize him as the guy who is the most conceivably able to defeat their and
The most powerful.
Yeah, exactly. Have you like you said like power has like been the most. You keep saying power, like a lot.
I don't know, man.
What's the Greek word for power? Because that describes Isaiah. Isaiah's looking it up. Okay.
Google Translate. What is Greek? For
No,
power?
he has to Google it because I don't know if it has ancient Greek in its database. It might.
It does have it. It has modern
Tanner
Greek.
spent too much time on Google Translate, obviously.
It's a lot of fun, especially when you're holding entire conversations in Spanish on text.
Oh my gosh. What was I gonna say?
Why?
Oh yes, Hera and Athena also have their rage because there's another council of the gods. Right. Go back to your original question. There are so many councils of the gods here, and then this is like this is after the duel. We'll get to that in just a second. This is after the duel between Menelaus and between Paris, right? And then he's like, maybe I should just give Helen back to Menelaus. They can all go home and be happy, right? But then Hera and Athena are like, don't you dare do that. I'm angry. And so he's like, okay, but I get to destroy a city when I want to. And they're like, okay, yes, success. Just so weird. So, yeah, they're just like, we're trying to orchestrate the events as gives them like pleasure. And also Zeus is trying to honor his promise to help out Achilles and give him glory too. So
it's odd thinking about Hera as Zeus's wife.
Yeah, it's like
because it's like you don't see it.
It's not. Yeah.
It's not there. There's no common love between them.
No.
It's just like, and are they brother and sister?
They are.
They're related.
Yeah,
No, they are.
they
They're specifically brother and sister.
Because Hera specifically says we
And
both
Thetis-
came from Cronus.
And Thetis is Thetis. Achilles' mom is Zeus's aunt.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Gotcha.
So Achilles belongs to Zeus and Thetis.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So repeat what you said, Tanner.
So she said that Achilles belongs to Zeus and Thetis.
Right.
And so because of that,
His favoritism.
it's kind of just it's a big fight.
Yeah, because I kind of wondered that, like, from my standpoint and my personal opinion, I would have picked like at least Odysseus or Nestor or someone other than Achilles, because he's not that great.
He's throwing a pity party. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not that great of a character of a man from what I've seen. But yeah, he's got it in good with the gods because he knows the right people. He's of the right descent, of the right lineage, and yeah, Thetis is able to.
He's the fan
pull some
pick
strings.
up in the
Exactly.
sky with her play some bets, you know.
He's definitely not the underdog, but kind of like.
Yeah, Hector is. He gets screwed over. All right, Isaiah, did you find the word?
So in Greek, power or powerful, I have no clue how to say this. I'm just going to spell it Ischyros.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Escalate.
I have no clue how to say that.
Show it to me. Maybe.
The one in
Cooper's
the blue
very
at the bottom,
phonetic, guys.
right here.
Whoa.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's a word. You can say that, Isaiah, whenever you want. Now you just gotta come back next week with it. Okay. Let's talk about the duel, Tanner. What questions do you have about the duel?
The duel.
By the way,
Well,
my favorite thing is like this is happening, right? The duel's getting orchestrated, and then Helen is just up in her tower, like weaving a story of woe and of anger.
Just like pain, slaughter, and woe.
Yeah, and red silk or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how is she one of the most beautiful women that everyone wants? Like, she is really.
Well, she's annoyed at having been like taken away.
so we've got time for like one or two more questions.
Yeah.
Only
But,
one or two. Whoa.
Yeah.
I know. Pretty crazy. Time flies when you're having fun.
We can go back to book 2 because the catalog of the ships sounds boring, but they say that
Oh,
this is
yeah.
the-
I have a question about that.
Okay.
Mom is over
Back
here
in book
being
2.
the little birdie over here
No,
sending
okay.
information.
She's doing great.
She's doing great. Anyways, we're going to go back. We're going back. Don't worry. So first of all, she was telling us that she wants us to go back to book 2 because she thinks that the catalog of ships is very interesting and important.
It's pretty interesting.
But what she wants me to say is that there are 1,148 ships. 1,186. Sorry, I was off.
How could you?
1,186 ships
There you go.
that have for the Achaeans and for the Greeks that have come over to Troy. And this is significant because the estimated number that scholars in Alexandria have decided or did decide was that there's about 110,000. What? That there's about 110,000 like men that have like that's the size of the army. So
Gotcha.
Whoa.
pretty sizable army.
It's pretty.
But down to my final question about the duel, okay?
All right.
So we've been talking about rage and pride and this wanting to have this like Greek Achilles, like Kleos. I said that wrong.
Again.
This Greek Kleos of just glory and honor. So how do you think Paris felt whenever he was whisked away by the gods during his beautiful duel?
Specifically
One god,
Aphrodite.
Aphrodite, his
Man, I really don't
His
like
maiden.
Aphrodite
Well,
after this.
Because of what comes after. He was okay with it. I mean, like, okay, Paris clearly does not have the same mindset that Achilles or even Hector has, right?
No.
Yeah.
Hector, we talked about last week, deals with this idea of shame. Of if he gives up the fight, which he doesn't really want to do, then he has the
Paris
shame.
has no shame.
He's a baby, like a
Literally.
wimpy little, soldiers. Just, yeah, I don't know. Why did Zeus call on him? He was a good judge of character or something like that.
Maybe.
I don't know. He's not showing.
I kind of got excited though when he finally said, "Okay, we're after
Yeah,
9 years,
I'll do the duel.
I'll do the
I'll
duel.
do
Like
it."
after 9 years, I'll do him." And I don't think he really knew what he was saying because like once he finally got in the battle, he just completely kind of fell apart. Yeah,
Menelaus
Menelaus is
any day, bro.
He's like, I've been waiting for this for
And like
so
drags him
long."
around by his helmet. It's just the chin strap like tore into like his.
He was
like,
choking by the chin strap.
right, but like it was the image was like his neck was like not. It's just like a baby neck, and so just like the leather like tore into his neck. It was like his soft neck was getting like torn up before Aphrodite came in and swooped him away.
But then,
But to be fair, like
Aphrodite
Agamemnon had some help too.
True.
Especially with what comes after with the arrow
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
Zeus instigating.
Basically
because-
trying to like reignite the conflict.
Oh my goodness.
And Athena tricking the archer.
Yeah,
So,
Athena messing it all up again. There
The
was
thing
a truce.
every character judgment we say is always nuanced by the fact that the gods help him out at a certain point. Like Achilles, in the end,
exactly.
when he wins, gets helped out by Athena, and Hector dies because of Athena, and
Yeah.
the gods abandoned him. So
Aren't you
And-
so glad that we have a God who is definitely on somebody's side?
yes,
And he can,
Well, he's
beat
not
up
on somebody's
everybody
side.
else.
We're on his side.
Oh, yeah.
God does
Like-
not change.
Well, true.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
True.
you. Thank you for clarifying.
well, okay. And now, to be fair, Bryson,
Yes,
I
yes.
think Romans says, "If God is for us, then who can be
Yeah,
against us?" Right.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I
Yeah.
you're right.
Anyways.
You're right. I understand.
Yes. So we're on God's side,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And
He has the Lord of
You know.
He's the Lord of hosts, angel armies.
He won't change. He won't abandon us.
Exactly.
yeah, he won't
Oh my goodness.
suddenly
He's not
decide that
fickle.
Paris is the better choice and, be Zeus and just like, okay, I want this battle to continue, so I'm just going to like, you know.
And God orchestrates things for His glory, which is
Exactly.
the ultimate good and our good,
Yeah, and,
and
for our
not
good.
for some.
and not for
pity
our
party man's
destruction,
dude, right.
so that we
Imagine Elijah threw a pity party, right? And what did God do? Like, it's like, bro, you got work to do.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll feed you, but let's get to work.
Exactly.
So the moral,
He's compassionate, but also he's not gonna support him in his pity party
Exactly.
as well. Like,
He's not going to leave him there like the gods do and just affirm and just say, okay, yeah, you can stay where you
Right.
are. Just have your little pity party until you're ready to come back and rage and destroy everything.
especially when what was I gonna say? Tanner was making motions at me. So I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, sorry. God totally supports a time for sackcloth and ashes, but also there's a time to pick up your sword and go fight for Him. So,
Mhm.
anyways.
Exactly. It's
anyways,
very
in
comforting.
summary of books 1 through 4, somebody shout out a word, a phrase.
Rage,
Rage.
power, obviously, as in
Power. Wanting to be in
Cleos.
control.
control.
Yeah. Glory. Persuaded the fool's heart. Hmm.
Yeah, that's true because Paris literally comes back from being a coward and like seduces what's her name, Helen,
Mhm.
and then Agamemnon's clearly a fool. Achilles kind of acts like a fool.
It was what Athena did for the archer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're
By the
right.
way-
Athena.
Mhm.
For the listeners, Miss Emily just said that there's a quote like that. This thing's also like to summarize it is like persuaded the fool's heart because like Athena did that for the archer and all that.
Mhm.
Just
Right, she
just so y'all
persuaded-
can know what we're
This
talking about.
guy literally like breaks his most prized bow to like shoot an arrow.
And doesn't even kill the
He
guy.
doesn't even kill the guy. Yeah.
Like what the heck?
Yeah. So
It's just another thing that Athena's trying to be like, I messed that up
which
too.
is, yeah,
Let's go.
chaos. All right, we done?
We're good.
right.
Wrapping it
Donor
up.
shout outs. Guys, I can believe this. We have a new donor.
Whoa.
I know, right?
No way.
So let's do him first. It's Bryson's friend.
Oh, I believe I know this person.
Howdy.
Oh, yeah. Howdy. You finally made it. Congratulations, Howdy.
Congratulations.
for joining.
Thanks for joining. You won't regret it. You won't
Yes.
regret it at all. So
So thankful.
neither do any of these other people, like Nana,
Nana,
Nana.
awesome.
Nana.
Thank
Grandpappy
you.
and Wayla,
Grandpappy
Thank
and
you.
Wayla.
Isaiah's
so much.
grandparents,
My
Yay.
grandparents.
Isaiah's grandparents.
Mike and
Love
Laura,
Mike
Mike and
Laura.
Laura, thank you.
Anna,
Anna.
Thank you so
Emily.
much.
Emily.
Wonderful.
Keenan.
Keenan,
Yeah.
awesome guys.
Great. Well, thanks for listening. Check us out on Instagram.
Yeah.
Check out our website and sign up for our newsletter there. That'll be coming out. Check
Awesome.
out Wingfeather Saga On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness coming out next Monday.
Yeah.
We already recorded it. It's fire. It's going to be
Ooh, boy.
like a 45-minute long discussion. It's
Oh,
great.
It's going to
great.
be solid,
It's
folks.
solid.
Yeah.
If you're part of CC, make sure you share this podcast with your CC mates and anybody in Challenge 4. They can
Yeah.
read along and talk along with us because we're all in this together.
Yep.
All right. Well, until next
Share the
time.
pain.
Keep on booking it.